This old story still has more power over the new belief that you're trying to reprogram. Your inner child is holding on tightly to these beliefs. It doesn't want to let them go. It's part of their identity. It's all they've ever known. It once needed them to survive, to feel safe in an unsafe world. Hi, thank you for tuning into today's episode. In the last episode, we talked about how we have beliefs that are mirrored to us by our parents, our teachers, our caregivers, and even our peers, and how we accept these mirrors as our truth, and we form core beliefs, and how these beliefs play out throughout the rest of our life, and it forms patterns and behaviors that run our entire life, and we have the power to notice what these beliefs are, and we have the power to change them. But it is not always easy to change them. And when we go to change them, we might find ourselves hitting up against a brick wall and unable to knock the wall down. We may try to change these beliefs, and we notice that we keep returning to the same patterns, to the same behaviors. We keep having the same thoughts. We keep having the same triggers and responses. And this is because our beliefs are not just ideas that we hold in our minds. These beliefs are tied to our identity, to our emotions, and even our sense of safety. And so today we're going to be talking about why letting go of these beliefs is so hard. Our brain stores our beliefs in the same neural networks in our brain as our self-concept. And so letting go of a belief can feel like losing a part of yourself. And most of our beliefs were formed in childhood, where there was a strong emotional tie to the moments that formed these beliefs. And so when something happened in the external, we experienced a strong emotion. And this strong emotion signaled to our amygdalas that this is important. And so anytime something hints at being similar to this, your brain then thinks that your survival is threatened. So these beliefs are tied to your survival. So they're really hard to let go because your brain thinks that you need them in order to survive. It thinks that by having these beliefs and by scanning the environment for evidence that match these beliefs, that it's keeping you alive. So it's not going to let them go easily. Our brains also like familiarity. It prefers the predictable over the unknown. So if this belief is predictable, if it's known, it would rather hold on to that than to let go of it and face the unknown. Even if this old belief is causing you pain, your brain is like, this is familiar. We needed this in the past. We still need to have this belief. This belief is known. It clings to it. It's like a little security blanket. And oftentimes when we go to change our beliefs, we can have these thoughts like, if I change this belief, then my family and friends aren't going to like me. I might be rejected by my community. So if you're trying to form new beliefs that don't match what everyone else around you believes, then your brain is not going to want to form these new beliefs, right? Because it's safer to have these old beliefs because then you don't risk rejection or abandonment. Our brains also do not like to be wrong. So if we have something in the external that challenges a belief, the brain will defend its belief because it doesn't like to be wrong, because there's no safety in that, right? It likes the familiar, the known, and so it's going to defend what it knows in order to have that false sense of control and safety. So this is called cognitive dissonance. When you have an old belief and you're trying to form this new belief and there's a mismatch because your brain does not quite like this new belief, because it's contradicting your old belief that is deeply wired into your subconscious. All of our old beliefs are also just constantly running on autopilot in the background. We've run these beliefs for so long that they just are second nature. We don't even have to think about them. They just pop up as a belief. Something happens and that's our first thought, right? By running these old beliefs, it uses less energy than forming and thinking of these new beliefs. New beliefs require conscious repetition and effort until they become automatic. And so it uses a lot more energy, and our brain tries to conserve energy, right? So it's just easier for the brain to default to the old beliefs. All of our beliefs have shaped our patterns, our behaviors, our relationships, our careers, our entire life is the result of our beliefs. And so to change our beliefs is to change our entire life, and that is scary for our brain and our nervous system. And again, all of these beliefs have been tied or linked to our survival in the past. So how do we let go of these beliefs? The first thing is we need to have awareness. We need to be able to spot these beliefs when they show up, when they're active. And then we can ask ourselves, is this true now? Or is there perhaps a different belief that I can have about this situation or about myself? As I've been talking about, our beliefs are taught to us from the people around us. But in these moments where we notice these beliefs, we've spotted the belief, we've questioned it. Now we can ask ourselves, where did I learn this from? Because then that allows you to separate yourself from the belief. You can separate your identity from this belief. Maybe it was something your mom taught you. So you can separate yourself from, that's your mom's belief, right? I am not that belief. Create that separation. So it's no longer tied to your identity. You can even picture yourself handing it back to them. Picture your mom and say, here you go, mom, have this belief back. I don't want it anymore. In these moments, you can connect to your inner child. Picture them. And picture yourself telling them this new belief, this new identity that you want them to have. Tell them the things that they need to hear in that moment that match this new belief that you're wanting to have. We also need to practice our new beliefs. We have to give our brain new evidence to work with. Repetition is going to take time, but every time we choose a new belief, every time we choose a new thought, it's rewiring our brain, and it's paving that pathway a little deeper and a little deeper. And soon it's going to be just so ingrained into your brain that that is what is second nature for you. But you need to practice these new beliefs. You need to embody them. You can't just say affirmations and say the new beliefs. You have to act like this new belief is true for you. Like I said, these beliefs are formed because there was a strong emotional charge behind the situation that caused this belief. And so when we are trying to rewire these new beliefs, we can recreate a strong emotional feeling. And so for me, connecting to my inner child helps give me that strong feeling. I look at a picture of myself as a child, and I picture her sweet, innocent, beautiful little face. And that instantly gives me the charge, that emotional charge that will help me to rewire this new belief. So whatever works for you, if that works for you, look at a picture of yourself as a child or visualize them to create that strong emotional connection and charge, and then rewire this belief. Say the new belief that you're wanting to believe in these moments that you notice this old belief. Feel the feeling that this new belief inspires and brings up in you. Allow it to fill your whole body, because this is creating that strong emotional charge that your subconscious then will think, oh, this is important. There's a strong emotional connection here. This must be important. This must be important for our survival. And so then that new belief, your brain will then be like, this is important. We're going to hang on to this one. And so then that becomes your default belief. This is called neuroplasticity, where we can form new beliefs. So how might you know that you're still clinging to an old belief? Here are a few signs. You know the belief isn't true, but you keep living like it is. So say your old belief is, I have to work hard for love, and you know that's not true, but yet you keep overworking, overgiving in order to earn love. There's a disconnect there, right? And so this new belief can't form into your subconscious. Self-love practices are going to feel fake or uncomfortable. And that's because you're not believing them. And so you need to make them believable. It has to be something that you believe. So it has to be a self-love practice or a routine that actually helps you to connect to yourself. It has to be something that makes sense for you, that is authentic to you, reconnecting to yourself. A lot of times they are going to feel weird at first, and it's because it's not normal. You're not used to it. It's not part of your identity. And so it's going to feel uncomfortable. There is going to be some discomfort, and that's normal. And the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. So don't give up if it's hard or weird at first. But again, you have to tailor it to what feels good for you, what brings out that emotional feeling for you. Another example that you might be clinging to an old belief is you might resist new opportunities, new relationships, because they contradict your old stories. Maybe you feel anxious or unsafe when you try to rest. And this is because you have this belief that your worth is tied to your productivity and achievements and that you need to be perfect. You might go to speak up or set a boundary and find yourself unable to. And that's because it's going against your old belief, right? That boundaries are scary, that you might make somebody uncomfortable. And so then you might be rejected. All of your beliefs that you have right now, a part of you secretly wants them. Not easy to hear, but there's a part of you that wants it because it's familiar. It matches an old story that you are still playing out in your subconscious. You might journal every day that I'm worthy, I'm lovable, I'm good enough. But the moment that someone criticizes you, you immediately will collapse into I'm not good enough. I'm broken, something's wrong with me. And this is because you're believing this old story. This old story still has more power over the new belief that you're trying to reprogram. Your inner child is holding on tightly to these beliefs. It doesn't want to let them go. It's part of their identity. It's all they've ever known. It once needed them to survive, to feel safe in an unsafe world. And so now it's scared to let them go. It needs you to hold their hand, to tell them that they're safe, that you got them, and that this belief is not who they are anymore. All of your beliefs, all of your patterns and behaviors were formed to keep you alive and safe. Your belief that you weren't enough made it so you worked hard, you performed, all hoping to be loved. It protected you from rejection and abandonment because you were working hard. You deserved their love, their affection. As a child, if you thought your needs were a burden, that belief was a way to keep you from feeling rejected. If you made it about you being the problem, then that meant that this person wasn't rejecting you. And that felt safer to form that belief, that identity. And as a child, if you formed the belief I'm unlovable, that was your way of trying to make sense of abandonment or rejection. And so all of these beliefs, like I said, kept you alive at some point. It helped you make sense of the world around you. It gave you a sense of control and safety. And so your inner child is scared. They don't want to let them go. And so healing is not about forcing yourself to think differently. It's about hugging your inner child, looking them in their sweet little faces and saying, I know you needed that belief once. I know it kept you safe, but you don't have to carry it anymore. I'm here now. I'll keep you safe. You are lovable. You are worthy. And your needs matter. When we offer this to our inner child, the child can finally begin to release its hold on these beliefs. And it's not because we're forcing it. It's because we're creating a sense of safety for the child, and the child feels safe and free to let it go. It's no longer tied to their identity. Letting go of old beliefs isn't about erasing who you are. It's about removing what was never really yours to begin with. These beliefs don't have to be your identity anymore. They don't have to be your truth. You have the power to rewrite them. And when you rewrite them, you change everything. You have so much power. This week, maybe spend some time journaling about what those biggest beliefs that you have are. What are the strongest beliefs that have the biggest hold on your life? And then think about what as a child might I have needed to have heard to not have formed this belief? And then begin to offer that to yourself this week.